Hi, my name is Anna Milevskaya. I'm a founder of Bostana Group and the host of video series called Dare You, created to help women achieve their career dreams. Today's topic is building your own personal board of directors. I'm joined today here by Gretchen Nemechek, who is the CEO and founder of Opinari. Prior to starting her own coaching practice, Gretchen held senior roles in multiple technology companies. And she learned firsthand the importance of having her own personal board of directors. Gretchen, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your experience about personal board of directors.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
So tell me a little bit more about this concept of having your own personal board of directors. I don't think many women out there know about it and think about it strategically as to what it is and how it can help them.
Absolutely. I think that we need to start thinking about our careers as a company, that we are the CEO of our own career. And when we start to think about our career as our company, I'm the CEO of Gretchen Nemechek Inc., and now my company as well, but what do I need in place in order for me to be successful and for order for me and my career to go in the direction that I want it to go? And we often think about mentors that we have, people support us along the way. But this concept of the board of directors, you might also hear it referred to as a mastermind, is really a way to bring individuals into your sphere who can help provide influence in similar ways that a board of directors would for a company, offer diverse opinions, offer unique backgrounds, expertise, skills, tools to help make that company even more of a success. And so building a personal board of directors really allows you to do that in a similar way to how a company might.
Wow, fascinating. It's really fascinating. When you think about your own personal board of directors, is it people who you know really well and trust and respect, or is it people who you would wish to have and maybe you approach and ask them to be your mentors? How do you go about thinking and building that board of directors?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think, certainly the first criteria for any board of directors is it needs to be people who are 100% behind whatever goal, dream, or initiative you're trying to set out to achieve. So you need people who are in your court, who are, no naysayers, no energy vampires, no haters, no questioners, no doubters. It needs to be people who are on board for your goal. And when you've clearly articulated that goal, then they need to be ready to support you in it. So I think it can be a mixture of people that mentors, people you've worked with, leaders in companies, community leaders, and it can be people that you don't yet know who perhaps can offer something unique that you don't have existing in your board of directors. When you think about a goal that you're set out to achieve, there's often a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And that gap can be skills, it can be network, it can be funding, it can just be experience, what have you. And so what I like to think about in that board of directors is what diverse group of people can help me narrow that gap, can help either provide more network, provide more access to funding, provide more insight into different types of skills development that I can do. And so that's where I think the biggest priorities is people who are backing you and people who can offer you something unique that can help you close that gap.
I love it. I know there are many women right now who are working towards a really high career goal. Maybe it's a CFO or CMO, even a CEO, right? And there are those who are starting out. What advice would you give them? Some may or may not have mentors. Would you say go ahead and build your board of directors now? It's going to be easier, faster, or is there something else?
I say always be starting the process, right? Your whole, let's say, my whole career has been a process of building relationships and creating connections that I never maybe thought I would use 25 years later, but I still have today that are impactful and helpful in the things that I'm doing. So it's really about creating this body of relationships that exists to surround your career and success. But how I would leverage this board of directors is very specifically, which is maybe I'm focusing on a very specific goal and I want people who are in my court to help me get there, right? So it's really a little bit more, let's just say, like creating a specific group of people who can help you support that particular goal.
Gretchen, thank you so much. This is fantastic advice. So it takes a village to really build a successful career. You have to start the process as early as possible, and you
Absolutely.
really will benefit in every possible way if you have a really great board of directors. Anything else I haven't asked?
I have one extra tip if you don't mind.
Mhm.
So interestingly, I was reading this book not too long ago. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's a classic, Think and Grow Rich. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No.
Napoleon Hill. Anyway, one of the things he talks about, and he was in touch with, some of the biggest moguls in capitalist history. And one of the things that he talks about is having this mastermind. And this was, I think, back in the 1920s that the book was written. And so in his way of describing it, this mastermind is a group of people who he respects in history, not necessarily even living, not even people he knows, who he'd studied deeply to understand how their brains work, what were their philosophies. And he would frequently, when working on a problem, call upon them mentally, right? To say,
Interesting.
what would Abraham Lincoln tell me to do in this situation? What would Andrew Carnegie advised that I do in this situation. And this became sort of his mental game around having a board of directors. So not even the actual board of directors, but sort of these people whom he respected, who he would just mentally call upon to provide him with advice. And after I was reading about that not too long ago, I got to thinking, well, what if I did that with ChatGPT? What if I said I'm noodling on a problem and I have my sort of virtual board of directors of people who I respect, who I value the work that they're doing in the world, who I see as successful, who I don't know personally, who I may never know personally, but who are public enough that their work is well documented enough for generative AI to give me advice. And so I started sharing like a problem that I was working on. Well, what would Ariana Huffington do? Or what would Warren Buffett do? How, if, act as Warren Buffett and give me advice on this, so you can create your own virtual board of directors with people who are, respected in the business world. And you can even leverage tools like generative AI to help provide you with that kind of guidance and advice. And I think it's a great kind of tip or tool, even maybe not in the broad sense of the strategy that you're working on, but sometimes on a very tactical level. You have like a problem you're trying to solve, go get other opinions, but from the minds of the people in the public sphere, So that I just wanted to leave that tip because I think it's a good one.
It's a fantastic one, Gretchen. I never thought about it that way, but I do think that leveraging AI for your own personal board of directors is a fantastic idea. I don't know if anyone would have thought about it the way you did. So I really, truly appreciate you sharing this tip. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome.